Thanks for staying with us. It's now time to delve into something different. And this time around, we'll be speaking with Nelson Mojolaoluwa Steven, a
Yeah.
multidisciplinary designer, a UI UX designer as well, and is into brand design as well as UI UX designs. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure being here. Good
Thank you so
morning,
much.
everyone. Yeah.
Let's begin. There's this in thing about UI UX design everywhere on social media. It's just what you see. Kindly run us through the ropes itself. What is UI UX design?
UI UX design is quite a simple in a simple way to explain this to everyone who
Okay.
hasn't even heard about it. Now, UI UX design is the bringing in
Okay.
a prototype of a set to be product, a product
Okay.
that hasn't been in existence yet. But due to the research factor, due to the fact that certain number of people have done a trajectory research about the product, how it's going to affect the users, how it's going to affect everyone around the product itself. So this UI UX is the bringing in of a prototype of a
Okay.
product that has not yet been live,
Okay.
but that
Okay.
hasn't yet been going live. So it's just the foresight of what the product is for pitching purpose, for collaboration, for all sorts
Okay.
that revolves around the
The
product
product.
All
itself.
right.
Thank
Let me
you.
come in here. You said something about it being for pitching purpose. Does it mean that the idea originates from the UI UX designer? I would have thought that it's probably a company or a client who is looking to building a website or something, building
Okay.
a product or an app that, this originates from and then takes it to the UI UX designer.
Okay, now let me break it down.
Okay.
Let me break it down. UI in the term UI UX means user interface.
Okay.
UX in the term
User
means
experience.
user experience. So we are merging two different things together, which is the design of the experience itself and the design of the interface itself. So we are merging two experiences together to bring it into one, to merge it into one, so that it will really be understandable to people who are here. It is
Nelson, we're with Nelson Mujolalua, who's trying to explain to us what UI UX is all about. And of course, he broke it down into two: UI, that's the user interface, and UX, which is the user experience. And we're just trying to understand how the process works really. Does it originate from the designer, or is it someone who is interested in building an app that comes first with, the idea, and then the UI UX designer goes to work? If you can hear us, Nelson, please go ahead.
Please, can you come again? I think the network went lagging at the
All right.
time.
I think I just repeated what I asked you earlier before we went on
Okay.
that timeout.
Okay. Actually, it's more or less like we have in the programming industry, or let me just say in the core tech industry, we have a programmer, we have a web developer, we have it's more of the product itself. It's more of the product. It's more of the product, not the not.
All right, Nelson. I guess you were going to say something.
Yeah, I think it would be more of a collaborative effort. Like it can
Exactly.
work either ways. Sometimes it has to do
Exactly.
with the you. Okay, yeah, you
Please
have
take
the
it up
floor.
from
Sure.
there.
Can you hear me?
Nelson, we said you can take it up from there. You go ahead, please. All right, Nelson, if you can hear us, we were just trying to corroborate what you said, talking about how that it's a partnership and
Yep.
it can originate from anyone, really. I mean, if as a UI UX
Exactly.
designer, I
Exactly.
can come up with something and then sell it to, an investor or, anything like that. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Well, I think the network is really friendly at this point, but it can work either ways. You could have a client have an idea of what he or she wants, and just, oh,
And you
okay,
to work.
help me with the design. This is what I want. This is how it should look like, and he brings it to life in terms of that prototype. On the flip side, you can just have the idea pitched like, okay, just create something nice that has to do with this, and the UI UX designer comes up with something beautiful. It's almost like what you have within the architectural space. You could have a landowner meet an architecture and tell him, this is the kind of house I want. Or he just tells him, okay, I have a land, it's so number of plot size. You come up with something beautiful that is either residential or commercial, and it has
it works either way.
Either
really.
ways. That's what I think, and I think it will be interesting to also know the process, because if you are having two experiences, that's the user interface and the user experience, merged into one in terms of the prototype, then it definitely requires some sort of
I was
skill.
even going to ask him if every user UI designer is also a UX designer. Are they the same? Do they always work together?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Not every UI designer is a UX designer. There's this mix up in the industry right now, where everybody who knows about the software can think I'm also a UX designer. You see, UX design is really deeper than what people think it is. UX design is you empathizing with the users, the potential users of the product itself. So you can just be a UI designer, and at the end of the day, you just think that, because I can design this and that, I'm a UX designer. No, UX design is really deep. It's really deeper than what everybody out there really think it is. Because okay, let's take for instance, I want to design a financial technology app now, and I as a designer who didn't do any research about the market, I didn't do research about the user themselves, I didn't make any research about core things. I just go back on my PC screen, behind my screen, and I started designing interfaces. And at the end of the day, I would say I am a UX designer. No, I am not a UX designer. UX designer are those people who at some point have done trajectory researches about the product itself. So you cannot say you are a UX designer if you have not taken part in the research purpose. So UX design is the research itself, talking about the competitive analysis, talking about the empathy with people, the gathering of personals. So it is really wide. It is really wide. So
Okay.
that's just it. That's
All
it.
right. For anyone who wants to, get into this particular trade now, that's what I call it trade. For a UI designer, maybe someone who wants to go into it, what are the expectations? Is there anything like a fundamental skill the person should have before going into it?
Yeah, sure. There are fundamental skills. Number one thing is you need to be computer literate. You need to be computer literate. And another important thing is you have to start from the basics. See, I tell people that you cannot start to enter into the UI UX UI UX field
Space.
without having basics of design itself. Okay, you need to know what color theory is, the color psychology. You need to know the basics of graphic design, typography. You need to know arrangement of design. You need to, there's a lot of phase you need to pass through before you can say, okay, I want to transition into the product design industry. You cannot just say, I just want to skip those processes. At the end of the day, you end up being broke and regretful. Let me just put it that way.
Okay. Well, now, what is that extra really? Because you have said that for you to be a UI designer, you have to start from maybe having knowledge of graphics, typography, and all that. So, as a graphics designer, let's say I'm a graphics designer now, and I want to go a step further. What will be that addition that I would need to, cross to UI designing?
If you are in the field already as a graphic designer, you will not have issues starting out as a UI UX designer, because you already know the basics, you already know the rules, you already know how design is being made up, what and where you can go for design inspirations and all. You already know all that. But you see, to get into UI UX design as an existing designer,
Yeah.
it's quite easy. It's quite easy. All you just need to do is there are several courses online. There are several courses online. And another important thing is that people think UI UX designer are revered in the society right now. So they kind of think, okay, if I go online, take courses, take Udemy courses, take all those courses needed for me to start out as a UI UX designer, I will gain respect in the society. I'll do this, I'll do that. At the end of the day, many people are learning for the gram. So if you want to really go into this field, you should not think of learning for the gram at all. You know what I mean by saying learning for the gram?
Yes. Talking
Yeah.
about,
So
so I'm sorry, let me butt in here. Talking about, learning UI UX design. You said it's easy for those who have been in graphics design to easily transition into it. But for someone who is an entire novice, do you recommend the online courses as you mentioned earlier, or the person has to probably learn from someone who is into that business on a one-on-one basis, or like a tutorial, an institution where he or she can learn about UI UX designs? I don't think he got that question. Well, I know, he said earlier that, that online courses,
yeah.
it's easy. Oh, okay. You have the floor. Shoot.
All right, cool. Now, I will not, for someone who's a complete novice.
Yeah.
I will really not encourage
Okay.
an online class, to be honest. If
Okay.
you really want to know, if you really want to grab the best in this field, I would not really recommend.
Okay.
You need someone to be accountable to. You need a
Okay.
particular tutor to be accountable to. And if you really want to speed up your journey in the field, you should not, because to be honest, so many people who are actually novice buy courses, and at the end of the day,
Oh.
they would not revisit them again.
Okay.
So you need someone who can take you by the hand. Okay, now you bought an online course and you are really not determined to push through, and at the end of the day, you just left halfway.
Okay.
And look, you don't have direct contact with your tutor.
Yep.
You don't have direct contact with the tutor. You cannot reach out to them at any time, at any time of the day, or any time, whichever time you want to reach
Okay.
out to ask questions. You cannot do that.
Okay.
You don't have their direct phone number that you can actually call when things go tangling. But when you have someone who can take you by the hand,
Okay.
it is going to be easier that way. You can actually communicate with the person, because if you so I do tell some of the guys who I had that opportunity to take,
Okay.
that you can reach out to me at any time. I will actually be available. But when you buy courses, you just buy courses and you just leave them hanging somewhere. You get what I'm
Okay.
saying now?
In that sense, then, what will be the average cost of learning this? And I'm asking, for those who are there who want to delve into design, and especially UI UX. I'm talking about novice now who are trying to, get into the field. I know prices will differ, but on the average, what's the cost of learning? And I also know you said earlier that UI is easier to learn and, operate than UX, which is the experience. But in terms of learning, probably give us a breakdown of the cost, an average cost for both of them, or, separately.
For both, anyone who wants to learn should be thinking. It actually varies.
Okay.
Should be thinking of 60 and above.
Okay.
Depends on whoever wants to take you.
Take you, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, depends. And there are some other courses that run really
Concurrently.
below that,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but they are actually rare.
Okay.
They're actually rare.
Very quickly, let's talk about, for someone who is interested in freelancing, what are the steps to getting customers? Is it that easy?
Freelancing is easier said than done, actually. Many people wants to get into freelancing, actually, to have their freedom of work and everything. But I would tell you categorically that as a freelancer, you do not even have the time of your own, actually. You do not, because once you are in this field of this design field of product design, and especially when you are actually good at what you do, you are not cake. And you said something about how to get jobs done, how to get jobs, how to get gigs.
Yes.
I would say the only thing that can make you get gigs in this industry is your work and what you have upstairs. It's not about, this is not about connection. This is not about I know a uncle somewhere who can just push me in. If you are not good and they push you in, that same way they will push you out. So you really need to sit tight and know what you're doing. A few people I've worked with, I have never submitted my CV. I have never submitted my CV. What they will ask you is your portfolio. At the end of the day, some people learn and they do not do something on their own. They are waiting to get jobs. They are waiting to get gigs before they can start doing something. Recently, I started a personal study also on the reality industry. So expect a quick dive from UI UX basically into another industry coming soon. There's an industry coming soon right now, the reality industry, the XR industry, the AR and VR industry. So most people who are not actually serious with what they are doing right now, they want to leave this old website design and every app design. They want to leave it into the AR and the VR industry. And this is where the problem starts from. If you don't develop yourself in a particular niche, there's no how you can get there's no how you can actually get through you can actually get yourself into getting gigs and getting jobs done. Thank you.
All right, very quick. I remember when I asked you about freelancing, you were saying it's not that easy. So does that mean that you prefer people get into the regular jobs first before they think of freelancing? Is that what you're trying to say?
I will advise, if you are new in this industry, I will advise you get into an organization level first. Getting into an organization level will help you know the ethics of how organization works.
Okay.
If it comes that way, then fine. I wouldn't say if you get personal gigs that should come first your way before organization works comes in. You should not do. But it is actually fine to start with organizations so that you will know how it works, how you can thrive in in an official environment.
All
You get
right.
what I'm saying
Yes,
now?
I
So
think that's
it's actually fine. You can even start up as an intern. After your training, you can check interns. Don't mind if they pay you or not. You just need to add up to your career, to your CV, to what you present to people out there before. And another important thing is, many people are so engrossed with getting jobs without um, getting things done for themselves. What I mean by saying that is this: you don't have to wait till a job comes, or a client brings jobs, or you are employed as a designer in an organization before you do something for yourself. You can pick up fictional design ideas, do that, and keep in your portfolio so that whenever the real job comes, you can show it out. But I will tell you categorically that most newbies trying to come in, they only hear the figures that designer are earning. So they want to jump in and they start, and that is why you see someone jump in. Someone has asked me, he just started designing 3 months ago, and you want to start chasing how to get clients after 3 months of design. So this is another downside of people not really being aware enough. They are not giving the brief enough on
Nelson. If you can hear me, well, I guess you can't hear me. I guess it's some connection issue
Yeah.
right there.
But that's quite expository. The things he has said thus far about UI UX design and those who want to delve into it and how to navigate the waters. sometimes we get motivated about, the prices we hear, and without looking at, the work that has to be put in. I think that's
Exactly.
what one can deduce
I
from
think
his last
whatever
statement.
it is you do, really, it's important that you are disciplined. You're able to stay the course. You're able to, get better at it. Really, you don't
Exactly.
just jump out and you want to start getting clients because the same way you're going to, get
Jump in,
kicked
jump
out.
out. That's
Exactly.
the way.
And then he said something about AR, VR coming up now,
Yep.
and a lot of persons are probably getting ready to move into that. So for how long are we going to keep moving?
Well, because that's the way the world is. Tech evolves, the world evolves, and there's that advancement. For VR, it's been, in existence for a while,
Yes.
and I know now there are now, lots of movies and documentaries. We've had, Nigerians do so well. There's a particular Nigerian who even won several awards internationally, got, interviewed on CNN, among others, concerning the documentaries, he had, especially on Chibok girls and what have you. So I think there's that transitioning, but there's also the cost when you look at virtual reality and the headsets and all that comes with it. But definitely the world will evolve, tech will evolve, and we just
Absolutely.
have to conform.
Definitely. Well, we'll take
Yeah,
a break
definitely.
now. Well, I almost forgot that he was still with us. Hello, Nelson.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Okay,
back
thank
here.
you
So
so
just a
much,
minute
Nelson
quickly.
Mujololua, for sharing your thoughts with us on the show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
All
My
right.
pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
All right. Well, we've been speaking with Nelson Mujololua, a UI UX designer and, of course, a brand designer also. We'll take a break now, and when we come back, we have more for you on iBrand Daybreak. Stay with us.